everything we need to set a school up. No problems. The information office, which our Global Press International, our own wire service in Chicago, receives them in news releases. I think the Rhodesian government is just sitting back, looking, observing. In that area, there will be Church of Christian Liberty representation.
Can you tell me why you're doing that?
Pardon?
Whose property is it?
I'm not going to disclose at this time. If you want to know the fellow that owns the property in the area, you can go to the Emmanuel Mission. They can tell you.
Can you tell me why you're doing this?
Oh, I can go on forever while we're doing this. Well, I'll tell you. We feel, through the World Council of Churches, contributing aid, directly and indirectly, to the communist guerrilla forces, through their church offerings and so on and so forth, channeling it in turn has given these guerrillas comfort, security, morale boosting. In turn, they go out and slaughter innocent people. And this is not Christianity, and this does not represent the spectrum of Christianity. Our church and many other churches in the United States of various denominations disagree with this full-heartedly. And we also disagree with any missionaries giving aid and comfort directly to the communist guerrillas. You've got to remember, communist is anti-Christ. Communist is atheism. In any country the communists take over, the churches no longer exist. They are a natural enemy of basic Christianity. And I'm not talking to you as a pious individual. I'm just like anybody here. I go to church on Sunday, or every 2 Sundays, maybe every 3 Sundays. I'm helping out with my military background. I'm helping out Reverend Lindstrom with the mission guard aspect of it, and doing a little liaison work to see how many school books we need and so on and so forth. Just get the feel of the situation. But in general, we wholeheartedly disagree with giving aid and comfort to any type of communist guerrillas, which some of these groups have been doing, and I believe they've been doing it without the knowledge of the congregations back in the United States. If these people that give the money in the basket as it's passed around Sunday knew that some of this money was going to guerrillas that were bayoneting babies and taking Africans and putting them in huts at 20 and 30 at a time and throwing gasoline on them and burning them up, this is not Christian. This is not Christian. And like I said before, the warning system, we're going to, if possible, be linked up with the Rhodesian military by radio, because they are the legal police force in this country. And if we spot a terrorist, we will inform the police immediately. If we can get a shot at them, we'll kill them on sight, no doubt about it. If they come in to our area to surrender, we'll take them in with open arms. We're going to try to establish a modified Chuhoi policy as we had in Nam, which means open arms policy, as said. We'll turn them over to the proper authorities for rehabilitation. But there will be no way aid and comfort to the enemy, which is the communist-backed guerrillas. In the camp, we are going to set up, and you're going to have to forgive my artwork here. I'm not an artist at all. You will see how it's going to be the credibility will be there of not being overrun, because not one of these camps with this design was overrun in Vietnam from the outside. It was always overrun, usually by a traitor from the inside, if they were ever overrun. Very simply put together, doesn't take too long to do, it just takes a little bit of labor and a little bit of barbed wire. In the inner circle, in the inner triangle here, you can have your outdoor church services and makeshift school systems. You'll have auxiliary bunkers in case the parishioners get mortared, machine gunned, or whatever the terrorists decide to do. We have a place to take cover. You will have underground gasoline sources. You'll have a team bunker, a communication bunker, and a medical bunker. Outside here, you will have an area before you see these lines, these dark spots, we'll install, because we have to do it as cheap as possible. And I have no idea this could ever take place, but let's say this thing turns into a regular conflict, and they use tanks on us, then we will install outside the perimeter, 20-foot wide and 20-foot deep, moats. And no tank will come across that. This camp cannot be penetrated. It would take days to penetrate it if you had 5 men inside. There's no way they can do it. Yes. I think I'm getting this right.
Missionaries do not come with guns. And
we did not come with guns. We get our guns here. And the Rhodesian government for years has been asking the missionaries, please don't give an aid and comfort to these guerrillas. Please arm yourself. Now, they've been asking this of the missionaries for years. And so we're simply not going to give aid to the enemy, and we are going to protect ourselves, and we're going to protect the parishioners in whatever area we're in. We're doing nothing more or nothing less as we understand, the Rhodesian government's been asking for years. So what's the big, there's no big deal, really.
How are you planning to acquire weapons and ammunition inside the country?
We will apply for permits like anybody else, and we will go to the store and we will buy them, or we'll take donations.
Well, don't you think by taking this...
As a duty, around 63 to 65, and near Nui Din, Black Virgin Mountain area, you're probably familiar with that, in that area, Loch Ninh area. I had Cambodians under me, Chinese Nungs, regular Vietnamese, CIDG, and Mountain Yard Scouts at various times. First time I was in Vietnam, I was near Tui Wa. This is all before the big call-up. And in that area, I served with the Vietnamese and Chinese Nungs. And I served in the Army from 61 to 68. And I got a medical discharge for shrapnel and poisoning.
What was your rank when you were discharged?
Sergeant. I took Special Forces training at Fort Bragg for 3 years straight because of all the cross training, and qualified in basic skills of radio, weapons, demolition, medics, operations, intelligence, psychological warfare.
Are they volunteers, members of your own church?
Oh, yes, yes.
But you said there are only 200 members of your own church.
Right, we have about 6 or 7 people out of our church that are ready to come. And in the Chicagoland area, we must have another 10 to 15. And throughout the United States and Britain, you have about 300 letters that came in. And that doesn't mean we have to screen these people very carefully. Something like this, you get the crazies. You know, people run around with guns and berets and all this sort of thing. You got to be very careful who you get a hold of. We screen them very carefully, and we keep our eye on them very carefully for a period of time. And we control it very, very closely.
Do you have anything to do with Phoenix?
No, I don't.
Can you tell us who...
This is out of the sanctuary in the church. And as dramatic as this sounds, it's true. He says, take the mission, organize the mission, and hold it. And put the flag up and don't let it come down. And we're going to do our best to let that happen. The only red in our flag is going to be the cross. And this is the flag that we're going to fly, and we're going to keep flying until we die. And that's going to be basically it. This is what we did. This is right out of the sanctuary in Chicago.